So, game literally just ended right now. Some quick post-game thoughts. Dolphins lost 14-27 in Pittsburgh, Monday Night Football. Another loss to the Dolphins. Winless column, now down to 0-7 on the season. So, let's get into it.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team.
So, the Miami Dolphins, I swear, they play only up till halftime. As of lately, they've been only playing up until halftime. And it's been really costing them, honestly. Dolphins really could have had a chance to win this game. But no halftime adjustments. And if there were any halftime adjustments, they weren't any good ones. Just to lay it out there. Dolphins were leading first quarter 14-0, second quarter, at the end of the second quarter, 14-10. Then another 17 unanswered points by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, I don't know. So, like I do with every game, stats. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 21 of 34 passing, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 4 sacks for a loss of 20 yards. Both of the interceptions, guess who caught them? I'm going to give you guys a second. I'll go over that later. Mason Rudolph, quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 20 of 36, 251 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 sacks for a loss of 15 yards. So it wasn't a crazy game for the QBs. Mason Rudolph definitely wasn't having a hot start after throwing that interception to Xavier Howard. And then there was another interception that got caught back because our DB, I think it's Ryan Lewis, number 24, he had caught it, and like as he was possessing it, his foot was just on the white part of the out of bounds. So yeah, that was an out of bounds catch. So let's go to rushing. Mark Walton, 11 carries, 35 yards. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 5 carries, 17 yards. Kalen Ballage, 3 carries, 8 yards. You're wondering, where's Drake? Drake did not travel with the team. I went over that with the pre-game video. And then, by the end of today, he was traded to the Arizona Cardinals. So he's going to be joining the number 1 overall pick, Kyler Murray, and the rest of the offense over there. So, sad to see him go, but I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Now when we go to Pittsburgh, James Conner, 23 carries, 145 yards, 1 touchdown. Longest carry was 25 yards. Then it goes to Benny Snell Jr., 5 carries, 13 yards. And then Trey Edmonds, 1 carry, no yards. Now when we go to receiving, let's go for the Dolphins. Devontae Parker, 6 receptions on 59 yards on 8 targets. So he only had 2 drops this week. Preston Williams, 4 receptions, 42 yards. 3 drops. He had 7 targets. Jakeem Grant, 2 receptions, 32 yards. Mark Walton, 3 receptions, 19 yards. Allen Hurns, 1 reception, 12 yards, and a touchdown. Then we have Kalen Ballage, 1 reception, 11 yards. Mike Gesicki, 2 receptions, 10 yards. Albert Wilson, 1 reception, 5 yards, and a touchdown. Michael Dieter had 1 reception that just literally happened at the end of the game. Ball got popped up. Boom. Michael Dieter comes up with it. But since he caught it and he's an offensive lineman, it is ruled dead. So, and then they punched out the ball, recovered the ball. Pittsburgh recovered the ball. But Dolphins retain possession because the lineman is an eligible receiver. So now when we go to Pittsburgh, Juju Smith-Schuster, 5 receptions, 103 yards, 1 touchdown. Deontay Johnson, 5 receptions, 84 yards, 1 touchdown. James Washington, 1 reception, 21 yards. Vance McDonald, 3 receptions, 19 yards. Nick Vannett had 1 reception, 15 yards. James Conner, 3 receptions, 5 yards. Roosevelt Nix, 2 receptions, 4 yards. And Dante Moncrief got targeted 2 times and didn't catch a single time. So, fumbles. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2 fumbles. Lost 1, recovered 1, had 1 right there at the end of the game. Thankfully he recovered it. Mark Walton had 1 a fumble as well, but he also lost it. Now, when you go to Pittsburgh fumbles, David DeCastro, he recovered a fumble from Mason Rudolph. Steven Nelson on the defense recovered a fumble. And TJ Watt recovered a fumble as well. Strip sack fumble on Fitzpatrick on one of the Dolphins' last drives. The offense was not looking great, guys, let me tell you that. Now, when we go to defensively, I'm not even going to highlight it that much. Dolphins didn't really do well. I mean, we were doing well unless the game ended at halftime. That's what I've been saying the past couple of weeks, and it's been pretty frustrating. Jerome Baker, 9 total tackles, 8 solo, 2 tackles for a loss, which 2 QB hits. Vince Beagle, 9 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 tackle for a loss, and 2 QB hits. Let's see, what is something else that stands out? Sam McGuavin, I haven't heard that name in a while. 1 sack, and who else? Someone else, I think, got a sack. Taco Charlton got a sack as well. And, yeah. Now, when you go to Pittsburgh Steelers, their leading tackler was Joe Hayden, 8 tackles for a total of 7 solo. Devin Bush, 7 total tackles, 6 solo. Cameron Hayward, 6 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for a loss. 1 pass deflection, 2 QB hits. One of the guys that was just towards the end of the game was just popping off was TJ Watt, brother of JJ Watt, whose season just ended after a torn pectoral muscle injury that just happened to him. 3 total tackles, 3 solo, 2 sacks, 2 QB hits, and a fumble recovery. Now, Miami Dolphins got an interception today. Xavier Howard, one of the first Pittsburgh drives, Xavier Howard picked off the ball. Good for him, finally. But Dolphins scored off of that drive after. But then, who do you think intercepted the ball twice from Ryan Fitzpatrick? None other than Minkah Fitzpatrick, the guy we traded to the Steelers. He had 2 interceptions. Given one of them was completely bogus. The ball just popped in his hands. Who else but Minkah Fitzpatrick to get the ball right in his hands like that? And then another one was a deep ball, double coverage, bad throw honestly by Fitzpatrick. Now let's go into some kick return stats. Jakeem Grant, 4 kick returns, 83 yards. Longest was 24, 20 average. Ryan Switzer, Pittsburgh, had 1 kick return, 25 yards. Longest was 25. Obviously, so only a return. Miami punt returns. Preston Williams had 3 returns for 35 yards. His longest was 19. Ryan Switzer, 1 punt return, 2 yards. And then we have Jason Sanders kicking. No field goals for him today, but he had 2 extra points. Went 2 for 2 on them. Then Chris Boswell went 2 for 3 on field goals. Longest was 42, and then he had also 3 extra points. Then we go to punting. Matt Hack only punted the ball twice. That's mainly because the Dolphins went for it on 4th down multiple times. I think we only got 1 or 2. I'll go over that in a bit. Matt Hack, 2 punts, 93 yards. Both of them were in the 20. Longest was 58. Jordan Berry, punter for Steelers. 3 punts, 140 yards. Longest was 49 yards. So if we go to the team stats, 4th down efficiency, Miami Dolphins 0 for 2, Pittsburgh Steelers 0 for 1. I don't know. The one that Fitzpatrick did right before the beginning of the 4th quarter, ran the ball, and they called it a first down on the field. And then, honestly, the videos they're showing, which is pretty much the same thing. I believe that's what they're showing to the referees. It couldn't really tell you otherwise. So I don't know where they got it that the runner was short, but it is what it is. Dolphins had 16 first downs to Pittsburgh's 21. Dolphins had 57 plays to Pittsburgh's 67. Total yards, 230 Miami Dolphins, 394 for the Steelers. Yards per play, 4 for the Dolphins, 5.9 for the Steelers. Let's see what else. Red zone, Dolphins went 2 for 2 in the red zone. Steelers went 1 for 2 in the red zone. Penalties, Dolphins had 5 penalties for 45 yards. Steelers had 9 penalties for 70 yards. So, I mean, the Dolphins are not really getting penalized this season. So, it's not penalties killing the Dolphins compared to previous years. Dolphins did, though, have 4 turnovers. That was definitely killer. Time possession, 24.42 for the Dolphins. 35.18 for the Steelers. Just wasn't good. It just wasn't good for the Miami Dolphins this game. Throwback magic did not come into effect this week whatsoever, as it did not week 2 against the Patriots. Now the Dolphins finally fall down to 0-7. Honestly, this was one of the games that the Dolphins should have played better and tried to really get the win, but it just couldn't happen. Dolphins just fell short on their face again. So now this raises a question. After a 2-interception night, even though the offense was doing pretty well while he was doing good, Ryan Fitzpatrick, is he the starter from here on out? I'm going to put my money on probably yeah. He's going to be the starter for the next couple of weeks. But after a performance like this, throwing 2 picks, given one of them wasn't really his fault because it got popped up. But then he also he had 2 fumbles as well. I mean, one of them, given he didn't lose the fumble, but you can't be having that as our quarterback with bad ball security. You want better from that position. Don't know. So I'm gonna take it back real quick. This is gonna be one of the last things I talk about. One of the plays right before halftime, Dolphins were up 3-14, and the Dolphins were on 3rd and 20. They were defending the Steelers, and Xavier Howard mixed up coverage. Was super far off the guy, right? The guy slants, goes upfield, catches the ball, gets a blocker, and boom, is in the end zone. Off of an Xavier Howard misplay. Bad coverage, yada, 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 whatever you want to say. Wasn't good for the Dolphins. Now this puts the Dolphins at 0-7 and really scratching their head, seeing when are they probably going to get a win. I honestly don't know. We next have the Jets, so it could come next week, honestly. The Jets are looking horrendous. Then we have the Colts not getting a win there. Bills coming down to Miami. I doubt we get a win. Bills are looking pretty good. At Cleveland, it could be a possibility, but I don't think the Browns will lose to the Dolphins, honestly. Eagles coming down to Miami. Not happening. Jets up at New York. Probably, maybe not. Then we're at the Giants, so we could possibly win that game. Then we play the Bengals in Miami. That's more than likely a possible win for the Dolphins. That is the date. That is December 22nd. So the gift for Christmas is a Dolphins win. Hopefully that will be the case. Then finally, week 17 at New England. Definitely losing there. New England cannot be beaten by any AFC East team at home as of late. It is what it is. So, that's pretty much it. Dolphins lost 14 of 27. Not a good loss for the Miami Dolphins to have, especially when you are trying to set back the Steelers and get a higher pick because, you know, you beat them, you add another loss to the record. It's something they have to overcome. And it could be totally good or totally bad for the Dolphins. But this is something that I feel like in the long run will be a bad thing for us. We should have had this game. We should have won it. Too many mistakes for the Dolphins. And one last thing before I close out the video. I'm going to close it out with my normal outro. But trade deadline is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Dolphins make any trades, I'll try to post a video letting you guys know. Besides that, all we've done so far is trade Kenyon Drake to the Arizona Cardinals for a 6th-round pick. I said it earlier in the video. But who knows? Some moves probably will be made. I don't know. Dolphins might have someone calling for Devontae Parker. I know Preston Williams is definitely staying on the team. But Dolphins are going to listen to all the offers and possibly take any of them because what's it going to hurt? I mean, you're going to trade away some good talent so the team can get even worse and lose more games, get the number 1 pick, and pick whoever they've been wanting to pick, whether if it's Tua, Joe Burrow, Chase Youngs, whoever. We'll see. But, yeah, pretty much it. Trade deadline is tomorrow. Hopefully Dolphins don't make another move, but hopefully at the same time they do try to do something, honestly. And that being said, that is all I have to say about this game. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the game, and not only the game, my video. If you did, make sure to leave a nice thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @ByAustinRamos, and check out byaustinramos.com. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and fins up.
Miami has the Dolphins.